Hi, I'm Rachel. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be shopping at Sam's Club and at Target, and I'm also going to be doing a little bit of meal prepping. To get started, I am unboxing this Misfits Market box. Say that I can't even say three times. Haha, anyway. So we're going to get this box opened and see what came in my order for this week, and then I am going to get it put away. I will be using these items in a lot of the prepping that I'm doing today. We were on a weekly cycle with Misfits Markets, but I did recently change my order to every other week because it was just too much food coming all at once and we weren't able to keep up with it. So I am very happy that I can still keep my orders going, but not every week, So anyway, so that some of the stuff that we already had on hand and all of the stuff that we just received doesn't go bad, I am going to utilize some now and then put some in the freezer for later. And this is what we got in this order. We got some strawberries, some tomatoes, potatoes, romaine lettuce, baby spinach, another package of spinach, and some lemons and limes. And I believe that was it. I may have missed something. I don't know, but we'll see. To get started, I washed up and chopped up the baby spinach. I'm going to use this in my protein shakes. So I make protein shakes, or some may call them smoothies. I don't know. They do have a little bit of fruit, some veggies, some nuts, and some oats in them. And this is just to the spinach is just super healthy and loaded with vitamins and iron, and so the strawberries are also good for you as well, but they also give that little element of sweetness. I add a started to say fig. It's not a fig, it's a date for the other sweetness. And then I will eventually buy some bananas, and then I will just chop them in half and put them in their own baggie in the freezer, because if I put them in the freezer, then they won't get eaten and they will be there for when I am ready to make my protein shakes. If I want to have a banana, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. The bananas just add kind of this frothiness to your protein shake, but sometimes I don't want them to be that sweet, if that makes any sense. So I am just taking these bags that I got from Walmart. I think they were $6.99 for all of them. And I am just filling each one with some spinach and some strawberries and a date to start off with. And then I will start adding some of the oats and also the walnuts. And the walnuts are for protein. I will also add some Greek yogurt when I make these protein shakes. And the Greek yogurt is loaded with protein, as well as the almonds. And then you get the fiber from the oats, and then that also gives me a full feeling, so I feel like I've had a complete breakfast. And I'm just going to pour my oats right into the bag. Looking back, I think that I may just put them in their own baggie the next time, just because it would be a little easier to get out of the bag and into my blender cup. So I have a Ninja Pro, I think is what it's called, and it's a really simple to use, really easy and convenient. And I literally do a liquid breakfast most days, and I will have some string cheese a little bit later in the morning, and this has been working really well for me. So since I did make this video, I have had a chance to have these during the week, and they were so convenient that I believe this will be a practice that I will keep up if I am able. I don't always have my life together. I'm not even going to pretend that I do. Meal prepping is not something that I'm good at all the time, but on this day, I woke up early in the morning, ended up having a whole lot of energy. My family was still in bed asleep, and sometimes those are the best times to be able to get things done. And so I am going to do these lemons and limes a little differently than I normally would. Normally, I would lay them flat on a baking sheet and then put them in the freezer so that they can flash freeze before I put them into a baggie so that they don't freeze together. And I am not doing that this time. I am just going to cut them up and get them in the freezer because the best that I could do on this day was cut them up and put them right in the freezer. I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm not perfect. I don't always do things the right way, and sometimes I just don't care. My goal was to just get it done, and it'll be good enough. And so I am just chopping these limes into wedges because that is how I plan to use them whenever I use them. And then I usually want my lemons sliced into slices, not wedges. And one of the reasons that I need to get my lemons and limes sliced up and put in the freezer is because if I leave them out in the refrigerator or in a bowl, my son will play with them and he will slice them up and try to have fun with them. I don't know. Is this just a kid thing or is it just my kid? I don't know. So anyway, that's one thing that I do to make sure that some of the things that I have plans for in my kitchen are there when I need them. Sometimes you have to pop things into the freezer just to make sure that they're still there when you're ready to use them. And so these are going to just go, I'm going to squeeze the air out of them and then I'm just going to throw them in the freezer. It was quick and easy and over. Next, I'm using up the remainder of this spinach that we got in the previous week's box from Misfits Market. And like I said, we were kind of getting more than we could use. And so to take care of that, I decided that we were going to have a nice big salad with whatever we had for dinner. I had no idea what I was making for dinner, but whatever it was, we were going to have a salad with it. And this was about 7:30 a.m. when I was getting this prepared, but that's okay because it saved me some time later and got this spinach out of the way. And so I just cut the stems off of that and put it in the salad bowl. And so here I am cutting off this discolored edge of the remaining cabbage that we had in our fridge. And I'm just going to get rid of that. I hate that we wasted some of this, but it's just what happened. And I'm going to go on from there and use the rest of it in the salad. And then I'll cut up the rest of it and put it in the fridge. And we'll probably saute it and use it as a base for some kind of a bowl. We usually like to have it with a stir fry or something like that. And so I'm just getting that core out of there. And then I have this really oddly shaped piece of cabbage left over. The rest of this cabbage was still nice and firm. Cabbage usually takes a really long time to go bad. So just because it's looking like it's going bad, it doesn't mean you can't cut off that edge and still use the rest of it. And that's what I'm doing here. And my gut has a really hard time with salad, but I have found recently that if there is cabbage, spinach, or kale in it, then I do pretty well with it. And I'm just going to get these green onions cleaned up and cut off the edges that are starting to go bad and wither up. And then I'm just going to dice those up and I'm going to throw some of them into the bowl with the rest of the salad greens. And we like to have a little bit of onion in our salads. It gives it a little crunch and a little bit of a different taste. If you don't like onions, then I wouldn't do this, but in our house we do. And the little green parts of these onions are really tasty mixed in with the other lettuces and whatnot. And so I'm just going to toss part of those onions into the salad, and then the rest I'll use for dinner. Like I said, I wasn't sure what we were having for dinner, but I had some things ready. For the last part of the salad, I just chopped up one of the heads of romaine and just put that in the bowl and made that salad all nice and fluffy. And I just put this bowl in the fridge to chill for the day. And then later on, I added the toppings when we were ready to have dinner. This is what the salad ended up looking like. And then, like I said, that was later on in the day. And then here I am just salvaging what is left of this celery. You'll notice that it is bent in a very odd way. That's because my husband smashed it up, bent it up, and put it into a gallon-size Ziploc bag. And it doesn't matter that it was bent or broken because I had planned all along to chop it up and put it in the freezer. I did pick out some of the rusty looking pieces before I bagged it up, and that was it. Hi friends, I'm at Sam's Club getting ready to go in and look for just meat this week. So it's not a pay week and we have enough food in our pantry to get through another week or two with side dishes and snacks and convenience foods, but we need to refresh our meats. So I'm here at Sam's and I'm gonna look at other stuff and hopefully not buy anything. We'll see. But I just want to browse. It's a Sunday and everything at home is all caught up and done. I mean, like chores and all that kind of fun stuff. So for fun, I just figured I would come out today and see what is going on at Sam's. And of course, there's a lot of people here. It's the weekend, so everybody's getting their shopping done, I suppose, or just doing like me and window shopping. Is that still a thing? I think it is.
This town's so lame, I'm feeling so wired. It's 4 a.m., I'm not even tired. We're in your car, we can drive away. Oh yeah, we're almost there. I'm loving this feeling of something new. Just right what I needed, take me there.
I ended up spending $88 at Sam's Club. I picked up a bunch of bananas because I needed them to go into my shakes. I did get a big pack of boneless, skinless chicken breasts, which I divided and put into the freezer. And then I did not get that big old $60 piece of meat, but I did get 2 rotisserie chickens, a pork loin, one of these 10-pound rolls of ground beef. And I've been watching Sam's Club for the Fairlife shakes, and they have not had any until this trip. They only had the strawberry, and they didn't have very many, but they did have some this time. And here is a look into my trunk. They did not have any boxes at Sam's on this day. And the chicken, the ground beef, the pork, the 2 rotisserie chickens, and the bananas is what I got for $88. Those shakes I had purchased on a different shopping trip. Well, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. I could not hang in Sam's today. It was really, really busy in there. And they were playing Ghostbusters on their speakers really loud. And they are also doing some construction or remodeling or just moving things around. So, and it's just busy today. So I'm getting out of here. And I'm going to go somewhere that's maybe a little more calm and serene, like, you know, Target. All right, let's go. I'm getting out of here. Target was a little more subdued, which I appreciated. Maybe everybody was over at Sam's. I don't know. So I was on the hunt for patriotic decor without spending a whole lot of money. So I decided to walk through the store and look at everything else. I did want to price out the bags to go with my food saver that my daughter bought me for Mother's Day. She got me the portable food saver system. It's there on the end, and here are the bags that I found to go with it. Oh, there it is. That's the one that she got me. I really do like that it's so small. And then I just moved on to look at more of the summertime stuff. Do you ever look at the pet section and then find things that you kind of sort of want for yourself? Like, I really have this obsession with small bowls, and the little collapsible doggy bowls I thought were so cute. I mean, we'll see here in a minute the little turtle one. I may have to go back and get that. I do like to bring my own bowl to the movie theater because they won't give you an extra bag or a cup when you get popcorn to share your popcorn with your partner. So I may be back to get a little turtle bowl. We'll see. I am just a sucker for all of this brightly colored summer stuff, especially pictures and things like that. But I did really good, and I did not buy this stuff. I may think about it for a while and go back and maybe pick up one of these pictures with the spout. $10 I guess is like the new $5, and I really thought this was adorable. But I have a white 3-tiered tray. It doesn't have stars, but do I need another tiered tray in my house? That's a big fat no. And I'm really working on trying to use things in different ways more than once and not have a whole lot of clutter and a whole lot of stuff in my house. There were so many fun and adorable things in the summer department, whatever you call that, at Target. But this was the only thing that I bought, and I'm so proud of myself for not going overboard. Okay, back at home, I got to work dividing up this meat. So we are not big pork eaters. Well, as far as like pork chops and things like that, it's just not one of our favorite meats, but the price was pretty decent. And I figured if I can get 3 meals out of it or more, then we're doing pretty good. So I just decided that this would be like one of those things that goes into the crock pot on crockpot days. And then after I got the pork loin divided, I got to work on these chicken breasts. And I'm telling you, these were so gross. I mean, not being funny or anything, but I know chicken can be kind of icky, but these were, I mean, there was all kinds of stuff that I'm just not showing you here, like blood vessels, cartilage, fat, and grizzle on these. So I had to do a lot of butchering. And like I said, I'm not showing you all of that. So I am cutting off this portion of these chicken breasts that I just call them like the shaggy piece or whatever that ends up being on the edge. And then I'm going to actually take this one and I trimmed off the bottom piece too, just because it was super huge. And then I'm going to cut these in half and just kind of butterfly them. Well, I'm not going to butterfly them because I'm going to cut them completely in half so that I get 2 chicken breast pieces out of it. And so all of the like chicken cutlets, I don't know what you would call these, I am just putting them into a freezer bag. And all I have are the quart size, so I'm actually really just stuffing them in there together, as many as I can fit in a quart size bag. And then the other pieces I am taking and cutting into bite size pieces, and I will bag them up separately. And I know it looks really easy, but this was very time consuming and gross and icky, and I had to wash my hands about 1,000 times and clean off my counter like 500 times, and you know how it is. But we want to eat, so this is what we had to do to get our food the way that we, so that it's there, it's not just gonna show up at our house and be ready to go. I mean, that costs more in my opinion. And so I just made sure that I was bleaching everything, like I said, throughout this whole chicken process. And then we're moving on to the ground beef. This is a 10-pound roll. So my husband whipped out the tape measure and cut it into chunks for me so that they would all be even and have the same amount in each freezer bag. And so I'm just taking each of the sections that he cut and putting it into the quart size bags. I usually use the gallon size, but I did not have any. I ran out. And so I'm using quart size, and I'm just putting them in there and just kind of flattening them down and getting as much air out as I can. And this will make it easier to stack them and put them in my freezer. And so here we go. I ended up with 5 2-pound bags to go in our freezer. And then these very green bananas, I'm going to take some of them and peel them. And I'm just going to half them and put them into a bag. I thought about slicing them into small slices and then decided that was just too time consuming. And since it's going in the blender, I could have put them in whole if I wanted to. You can actually freeze your bananas in the peel, and I've done that, but it is kind of difficult to peel them after that. And so the bananas were pretty easy. I just did enough so that I would have a half a banana for each of my shakes if I chose to. If not, they'll still be in the freezer for the next time. And then I am just manhandling these rotisserie chickens and getting all the meat off of it and putting it into this pot. I just have this pot to hold it. I don't know why, because I'm actually going to put this in the crock pot. I wasn't sure what I was going to do with this chicken when I first started out, but like I said, I wasn't sure what was going to be dinner that night, but I knew that I wanted it to be easy because I know that it looks really fast on camera, but preparing all of this produce and this meat it took a long time. It really did. And my feet were getting sore, and I had gotten up super early, so I was starting to feel pretty tired. When I was done deboning these rotisserie chickens, I just put the carcass into a pot and then added some water and boiled it with some seasoning, and then I just strained it, whatever you call it, into a mason jar so that I would have that broth for later. I just let this cool, and then I popped the lid on it and put it in my fridge to use during the week. And doing it this way, it will turn into a gel, which is exactly how I wanted it to be. Thank you so much for watching. If you had fun here today, please consider hitting the subscribe button so you can see more of my videos in the future. Bye for now.